Welcome everybody. This is Leslie, Director of Teaching and Learning Programs at Truman College, and I'm going to do a brief video here to help you get familiar with your iPad and some of the settings on it. A couple of things to note. One is that it's in order for you to be able to see what I'm touching on the iPad, you're going to follow this white dot around the screen. That's where my finger's at any given time and what I'm pressing on. Also know that the iPad that I'm demonstrating on is a 7th generation iPad that is running iOS 14.3. So if you're using a different iPad or using a different operating system, some of the things that you see might not look exactly like what I'm showing you. Also important to know is that this particular iPad has a home button. So I'll be sharing with you a resource for where all of the different buttons are on different versions of iPads and a resource on using Apple Pencil, which I will not be demonstrating today. One of the first things that I want to show you is how to swipe through multiple pages on your iPad and some of the pop-up menus. So you can see here each of the dots at the bottom right above my toolbar here show how many pages of apps I have access to, and I can swipe left or right to access those apps. You can also press directly on any of the apps to open them. You can press your home button if you have a home button iPad in order to close the app. And then if you long press on an app or force press, you get an opportunity to open a menu where you have other tools that you can use with the app, like deleting the app, sharing the app, or editing how it shows up on your home screen. You also have a notification center, which if you swipe all the way from the left of your screen, you can see here, I can see things like battery life, any widgets that I might have embedded. So you can see here, I've added my weather app and my calendar app directly to the notifications. You can also add things like sports scores, stocks, other types of notifications. You have a control center. You access your control center by swiping down from the right corner. You can see a blinking red light here because I'm recording. You can also see that there are different controls that I can use quickly, quick access to them, things like toggling my Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on and off. This kind of target that you're seeing is showing that my Find My iPad is turned on. I can control my screen brightness, my volume from here, turn on my Do Not Disturb, screen mirroring, see my events, take a picture, access my accessibility functions and shortcuts, set reminders, and this is also a customizable screen. I'll show you how to get to that next. So I've just swiped that away. I'm going to show you here opening your system preferences. System preferences always show up on the dock, which is the bottom row that stays the same no matter what page you're on, as do any recently used apps. You can also drag apps into the dock to keep them there if you use them frequently. Some settings that are important. Going to my iCloud settings, that's where I'm going to manage any accounts that I have synced here. Things like my phone number, name, email accounts. So you see I can add additional emails here if I want all of my email to come to one place on my iPad. I can also add Apple Music, Apple ID, and other Apple accounts here. I can turn my Wi-Fi on and off and my Bluetooth from here. I can also make changes to my notification settings. So if you feel like you're getting 100 notifications from an app that you would no longer like to be getting, you can customize those here, and you can customize those down to the level of whether you want banners, sounds, badges, what type of notification you'd like. Showing you what some of those look like. So this little red one that you see showing up on my system preferences, that's a badge. A banner would be a notification that would show up at the top of my screen here and then go away. Back into our preferences, you can set up your sound preferences, a Do Not Disturb. There's also a really robust screen time app. You can set this up separately on family accounts for children and adult usage, or for different users that you have added under a family account. It allows you the ability to set downtime, so times where you are not using the screen, to set app limits. So you could set that, I can't be on Instagram more than 2 hours a day, and then Instagram would shut down when that was completed. This is also where your content and privacy restrictions are going to be, which is something you might want to set up, especially if you're using your iPad in the classroom or with children. All of your general settings are here. You have access to your control center, and this is where you can add or remove things that you want to show up on your control center and what apps you want your control center to have access to. There's some really robust accessibility controls on iPad. We're going to do a special training on accessibility controls in Apple and how you can use that for teaching. Your Siri settings are here. If you want Siri to not listen to you, you can turn her off here. Your Apple Pencil settings. I'll be sharing another article with you in the Brightspace with more details about Apple Pencil. Access to your App Store and payment. And then settings for your individual apps will be after that. I want to use a little demonstration of how you can use Siri. So you can use Siri to do tasks for you. You can also use Siri to find information. We'll start by finding some information. Hey Siri, what's the weather like in Chicago?
It's currently snowing and 34 degrees. Expect cloudy skies, then snow starting in the afternoon. Temperatures will be fairly consistent, averaging about 34 degrees.
Thanks, Siri. You can also use Siri to set things like reminders or appointments for you. Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes and counting.
Thanks. In 2 minutes, Siri is going to have an alarm go off for us. In the meantime, I want to show you some of the ways that you can share information from your iPad to other devices. So let's say that I was on a website, for example, here I'm going to use Apple News, and I pick a story that I want to share. Here we have a story about the Super Bowl. Anytime that you see this little folder button with an arrow going out, you have the opportunity to share. By pressing that, you can see some of the people that I frequently message here show up as automatic contacts. I also have different ways to share, so I can share using the different apps that I have. This is also where you're going to go if you want to bookmark things or copy the link to something to add to like an email or another document. The same goes for my files. So if I go here to my file system, and if I wanted to share this presentation here, I can select it. I'm going to do that by doing a long press. You can see a menu comes up here with different things that I can do, sharing being one of my choices, and then that same menu of people I frequently share with and different ways that I can share here. You can also save things to your iCloud from here, so that you have everything backed up. Your iCloud settings are in your settings menu, so you can choose where things are set to download or to upload and to be saved. The nice thing about that is that if you use your Apple ID to log into across multiple devices, all of your documents are readily available no matter which device that you're on. You can also set up that setting for apps in your setting preferences, where any apps that you download on one device will automatically download to another. All right. Thank you for taking this brief tour of your iPad with me. Go ahead and put any questions that you have in the discussion board, and we look forward to seeing you in one of our live sessions. Thank you.